It's time for
It's Fanboy Weekly for all you geeks, nerds, and blurs. Let's get our geek on.
Welcome back to Fanboy Weekly. I'm your host, David, and you guys don't know what I went through to get here today at 1 o'clock. I would have been on time, but the weather wasn't cooperating with me this evening, or tonight, I guess, or this morning, I should say. And we got some crazy ice, sleet, freezing rain, snow nonsense going on. If you guys know, I get off at 12 o'clock. And so it took me a minute or two to get it to the house. So, but I made it. Slowly but surely. So I was creeping, and not that I was really white knuckling it, because I do fairly well on snow and ice. It just takes time. You got to be very, very mindful and careful of everything, so you don't have a wreck accident because you're trying to go too fast. Or I'm never in that much of a hurry, because I'm a planner. Like I tell you guys in my other shows, I plan to get where I'm going, and I think about, well, this is what I need to do, this is what I need to do, and I plan, so I leave in enough time to get to my destination safely. And like this afternoon, when I went into work, I actually left the hour early because I know there was ice and stuff. And I had 5 minutes to spare. It took me the complete hour because there was an idiot at the gas pump. I'm not going to go into that. That'll be on tomorrow's show. Anyhow, thank you guys for checking me out here at Fanboy Weekly. I'm thinking about changing the name. I did this with some other shows. I'm like, should I change the name? But I'll talk more about that as we get further on into the podcast tonight. And welcome to my friend Ken Boggle, who's in the chat room hanging out with his nerdy buddy. Glad to see you, Mr. Ken Boggle. I meant to get with you today, but I just kind of got distracted. And obviously you were sleeping all day yesterday, but I'm glad to see I can't say I've seen your smiling face, because I'm just reading your text. He was waiting on me. He was waiting on me. He's like, there you are. Yeah, I'm here. I said I'm here. I'm here. And as always, you can catch us out on the blog, the5x5.blogspot.com, or send me a tweet at the5x5, or you can follow us on Facebook, the facebook.com, the5x5, completely spelled out. So I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you got some good stuff this week at your local comic book stores. And today's episode is called Fanboy In Collections. Now, if you guys remember, when I started doing this more on a regular basis, I think this is our 5th or 6th one that we've done on time, and I've been able to, chat about my fanboy passions and things of that nature. But a few weeks ago, or a month ago, or whatever, I just started getting back into comic book collecting. Something that I missed, something that I enjoy doing, something to pass my time, since I really don't have a life. But I enjoy it. I enjoy collecting, and everybody is a fanboy on something different. Earlier today, I was having a conversation with my niece, a text messaging conversation, and she has just started, because when she was very young, I started her watching Buffy the Vampire Slayer. She was too young to know what was going on, but she's a musical kid, so when that musical episode, Once More with Feeling, came out, she fell in love with Buffy, but she's never watched the complete series. So she just started watching the Buffy, the Vampire Slayer series. She started with season 1, episode 1. She made it all the way to season 2, and so this afternoon she's sending me all these texts, and it just made me feel proud that my niece, she's so much like me, it's scary. So much like me, it's scary. Um, she um, she was asking me different questions, and how's this? How's Spike is asking about who's sire and what's wrong with Buffy. She's having an attitude, and I'm like, oh my god, this just makes me proud. So she is watching Buffy, so we have a lot to talk about. But she did the same thing to me with Doctor Who. I didn't want to watch it because I don't have enough time to watch another television show. Although all the seasons except for the current season they're on Netflix right now, so I can watch it. I've been watching it bits and pieces, but I have too much television to watch as it is, so I don't have time to watch as much as I want to watch. Not that I'm not watching, watch as much as I want to watch. And yes, Ken, I'll talk about that in a little bit. Still toying around with the idea. I'll share that with you guys here later. But guys, did you see? For those of you guys who didn't watch the Oscars, and congratulations to all the winners. I think Matthew McConaughey won tonight. Lupita Nyong'o, she won tonight. Who else? Kate Blanchett. 12 Years a Slave was the best picture of the year. I didn't get to watch it because I was watching The Walking Dead. I'm tired of award shows. It's just, we're giving a pat on the back to somebody who's rich, famous. Do y'all need something to glorify yourselves, really? Although I really missed seeing Ellen. That was the only downfall. I didn't get to see Ellen. Not that I missed it because I was watching Walking Dead. Anyhow, today's Walking Dead episode, the Walking Dead episode was, it was pretty. We got to see more about Daryl. There was no other characters, and it just Daryl. And I want to say the chick's name is Beth. She's kind of whiny, but she got Daryl to be himself, and they're going through what they're doing, trying to find each other. Of course, the random zombie attacks, and somebody almost gets eaten. But they was kind of alluding because there's been some pictures, and I don't know how current they are. Daryl, which is, I can't think of his name right now. Daryl, the show. He tweeted a picture earlier this week that where he looked like a walker. And so I'm wondering if they kill off that big of a character. It was really big when they killed off. Is his name Sean? I can't think of the name for some reason. The other cop at the beginning of the series, they made him a walker I think it was season 2, and then Shane. They made Shane a walker. They killed him. Then they killed off Andrew Lincoln's wife, Carl's mama. They killed her off, and then they killed off Lori. Who her and Michonne had got together, and they went to Woodbury, and she was part of the governor's clan. And then he ended up killing her, and then they killed Carol's little daughter, and then they killed the doctor. And so I'm like, okay, can this be true? Because if you watch the Talking Dead right after the Walking Dead, with Chris Hardwick, I like Chris Hardwick. That was going to be the guest tonight, so everybody was like, oh, if he's sitting on the couch, he may be dead. But although Michonne was on there a few weeks ago, so maybe that's not really a tried and true formula. But anyhow, he had tweeted that picture, and there's speculation. I think if they kill Norman Reedus, that's his name, off the show. Remember when Norman Reedus was on Charmed? Do y'all guys remember that? He was on Charmed and he dated Paige. Remember that? It was like season 6 or 7, and it didn't last very long. But he was on Charmed, and so if they kill him off, what's going to happen? I think there will be a mass exit from the show. I think not from the actors. I think from the people that watch the show, the fans. So hopefully that wouldn't happen. But like we said, we got to see Norman Reedus do his Daryl thing, and and he was good. But my thing is, he was acting, he was being weird, and he was trying. There was the episode where he was trying to decide whether he wants to be the old him or the present him. And but the little girl, there was a lot of blood, and then did you see he ate the snake and tore the skin off? That was a mess. I'm like, I can't. Sometimes I have to put these shows down because it's too much gore, and the older I get, the more my stomach is very very sensitive. Don't ask me why. It just is. But so it was a good episode. It was almost like a filler episode, but I think they waited too long to do character development. But I guess since it's one of AMC's highest rated shows, I don't see it going anywhere anytime soon. We'll probably get 6-7 seasons out of The Walking Dead. So I think they know this, so they're comfortable in doing episode that just features 2 characters or 3 characters instead of the group, because they're all spread out. But eventually, hopefully, like next week, Maggie and they're all in the forest and they're ready to, they're in a cemetery and they're ready to take on a whole bunch of zombies. And then somebody was getting eaten up. So who knows? But so check out Walking Dead on AMC on Sunday nights at 8 p.m. It was good. If you missed this episode, you didn't miss that much. It did kind of develop the Norm character, because he talked about his father and what he didn't have growing up, and he talked about Merle. Remember Merle? They killed Merle too. So anybody can die. There's nobody safe in The Walking Dead. But so what else is going on? What else is on TV? Arrow returned Tuesday, and they fooled me, y'all. They fooled me that Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. wasn't on, and I was going to sit down and watch it because that night I had a plan to watch Thor. I hadn't seen Thor: The Dark World, so I got it at the library, and I was able to watch it. It was good. I'm really, not that I'm shocked. It was just really good. Sometimes they have that sophomore slump type of thing, but Marvel has the movies on lock. To me, it was more comic book-ish. The first movie was more, we got to tell this story, we got to tell their origin, like they did with the first Wolverine movie, and they put the origins in there, and I believe that this was like, we're doing a movie, and that's what they did, and I enjoyed it. And then they set up season 3, a third movie for the Thor franchise. So looks like that's going to be going on. I don't see it doing more than 3 or 4. Because sometimes on the 4th movie it just gets kind of silly, but they do all those collaborative movies like the Avengers. We got the Avengers 2 on the horizon, and that steamboat is just moving full speed ahead. Let's see what's Ken's like. Oh, he was referring to what I was saying, that the stars, having a award show for themselves. He said they do not need to be held any higher than they already are. He said, Arrow, He said he loves Thor's brother, the actor Tom. See, if you hadn't said it, I would have knew it. It'll come to me. Guys, sometimes I'm a little late. Like last week I was talking about I was a fanboy come lately, because sometimes I get late on some stuff, just like the Thor movie. I just watched it this week. But yeah, Thor, the actor that plays Thor's brother Loki, I see him getting his own movie or something, because he's very, very popular, and he plays the trickster Loki to a T. But Arrow, we're going to switch over to DC. I like him too, Ken. Ken said he loves him. Maybe we'll get him on the show. If you're listening, even though I don't know your last name. Switching over to DC real quick. Arrow. I enjoy Arrow. I like Arrow a lot. And when's the Flash showing up? When is the Flash showing up? I'm glad Laurel, because I was getting sick of the Laurel character. She's been acting a fool. She's been popping pills and drinking and being real disrespectful and crazy. And she finally got it. It finally sunk in. So are we going to start from transitioning her sister from being Black Canary into Laurel being Black Canary? So we'll see. But I want to know, is she lesbian or is she not? the Black Canary now, because she had the relationship with that girl from the Assassin's Guild, and then the little girl that, well, they do just playing the young girl that she was kind of partnered up with. She's the helicopters that died in the forest when they was on the island. It's his daughter, and that was a good moment. So she was happy. I guess she's more like a mother figure, but I still want to know if she's a lesbian or not. And then Felicity Smoke. There's talk that they're going to make. Oh, I'm sorry, Ken. You might want to give me 2 minutes. He said, spoilers. Sorry, spoilers. There's talk that they're going to make Felicity Smoke in this DC universe. They're going to make her Oracle. And you know, Oracle, and because there's an episode called Birds of Prey, which is going to be feature Black Canary, Felicity Smoke, and the Huntress. Now, you remember a few years ago, before Shamar Moore became Shar Moore. This is after his stint doing International Mail and Speedos every other week. Remember the International Mail catalog? Maybe not. Only gay men ordered stuff out of that, self included. Although, when I was in college, this is how long this was. When I was in college, this was probably 1991. I had ordered these pants that I had no business wearing because, looking back, they were a mess. I mean, a straight mess. And and I go to my biology class one day, and the guy where were the chances the guy sitting in front of me had the same pants that I had on? And I'm thinking, oh, he may be family, wink. And I never approached him, which I should, because he was cute. And I'm like, I should have said something to that guy. But I didn't. But that was years ago. But Shamar Moore used to be in that catalog, but they had like the it was like soft porn for gay men. They had the International Mail catalog and the Undergear catalog. But remember the show when he started acting? Remember the show called Birds of Prey, which featured Helena, which was the Huntress. It featured Black Canary's daughter as this Black Canary's daughter. And even though Black Canary I have all the episodes. It's on. It's not on. I don't think it's on Netflix, but it's definitely on iTunes. You can buy them, and it's really cheap. It's not that expensive, but I bought them a long time ago because I actually like the series. Because supposedly Batman and this version of the Huntress, Batman and Catwoman had a daughter, and the Huntress was the progeny. So she was a metahuman from the side of Catwoman, and then she had that kind of stoic personality that she got from her father Batman in that world. They had Dinah Lance, which was Black Canary's daughter. Then they had Batgirl as Oracle, and it kind of followed the original DC mythology when the Joker, because that was part of the setup. Joker had shot Batgirl in I wish I had that comic book in that graphic novel, The Killing Shot, and she was paralyzed, and then she ended up being this kind of super computer nerd chick that kind of controlled all the heroes. Well, not controlled, gave them information. They kind of played with that with Chloe in Smallville, and that was their Oracle. And so now Felicity Smoke they said she's not going to be in the Oracle capacity, although she's kind of doing the Oracle thing right now. But they're going to have an episode called Birds of Prey on Arrow, featuring the Huntress is back, of course, Black Canary. So I don't know if it's going to be the the Laurel. So confusing. The Laurel Lance or her sister as Black Canary, and then a Felicity Smoke. So that should be interesting. And also, they don't have many episodes left. Maybe they're probably getting 22. I think they're on 13 now, so maybe 9 more left. So at some point we have to see Flash, because Flash is going to get his own television series, and we talked about that a while back. But this Arrow was good, and now they know that. And they didn't really use Roy this time either, which I was kind of confused about. I'm like, okay, he has these powers from that serum, which I don't like because he's an archer just like Green Arrow. But they're going to use him in different capacity. So, who knows? But it was good. The conflict between Ollie and his mother, and then she introduces Slade back into the picture, and they have this stare down, and it goes off. So that sets up for a lot of stuff to come between them two, and it's going to be interesting how that plays out. I can't wait. But then, where is the Dark Archer? Where is John Barrowman's character? Can't think of his name. Where is he at? He had an appearance early on, but now he's not there anymore. He wasn't dead. He didn't kill him in the last episode of the first season. So where is he at? Where is he at? So I'm sure he's skulking around somewhere, ready to influence our Starling City people. Anyhow, anything else on television? I think I've covered all my TV stuff. Thank you guys for listening. We're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back. I like that. Who is that? Driving with my headphones on by DJ Eric Ill. I like that for this show. I like that. That's kind of upbeat and funky. And Ken Boggle is back because he he had to mute my ass, so he says, because I was giving away Arrow spoilers. I think he's still on the first season. I think that's what he's doing. He's on the first season of Arrow. But thank you guys for joining me tonight. Don't forget to check out the blog at the 5x5.blogspot.com, and the fives are numerical. And send me a tweet about everything, your favorite fanboy stuff. What would you like for me to talk about or investigate? And I'm good at sitting at the computer and finding out some stuff, because I'm one of those people, like, even when I buy stuff, I will investigate it and check it out for months, unless somebody's giving me something. But I'll check it out for months. I don't care if it's something old. I'll find all the specifics. I found what prices are. You remember last week when I was at that little antique shop, and this woman was trying to sell me a old comic book for like $5 or $6, something like that, and it was valued for $1. And I had to show her my proof on my phone. She didn't like that. I haven't been back either, but but I did get a few things this week. It wasn't really anything. What happened to Ms. Marvel #2? I can't find it, and I want that book. I'm gonna follow. That's one of the series I want to follow. I'll pick up a first issue of something, and if I like it, I'll keep reading. That's how I've done everything else that I've collected in the past. And I tried not to get into this book. Not that I don't like DC. I love DC. I liked DC before I even knew there was a Marvel when I was a kid. Of course, with Batman being on TV, Wonder Woman being on TV, Superman being on TV. Then, of course, that little short-lived Spider-Man live-action show. I knew DC before I knew Marvel. Although I do remember having a Defenders comic book years ago. I wish I still had it. It's probably worth money. But I didn't want to get into this, because not that I didn't want them to get together. Part of the New 52 line, they have pushed Wonder Woman and Superman together, which, if you remember the Kingdom Come series, she's pregnant by Superman. But and also the Justice League War. They allude that there's an attraction there. Remember last week I got the Justice League 52 first issue, DC Comics Essentials, which I didn't realize was the movie War that's on iTunes is based off the 52 mythology. Yeah, Ken Bauer says they were supposed to be together. It was fate, of course. And so I did grab the #1 Superman Wonder Woman, the New 52 comic book, and it's actually really good. I couldn't find 2, 3, and 4, so I need to get those. I did find 5, which I thought was another interesting thing, because Wonder Woman is serving them up. That's the issue where Fiora and Zod escape the Phantom Zone, and Fiora and Zod are kicking Superman's butt, and then Wonder Woman shows up, and she's like, "I got this," and she starts going to town. So I like that they're not taking away her strength, and for some reason, all the Amazons have been turned to snakes, and Queen Hippolyta is a statue. I didn't know that. But you remember they did that in an episode of Justice League Unlimited, Paradise Lost. It was a 2-part episode, and all of those episodes are on Netflix right now. Paradise Lost, and Queen Hippolyta, which she was blonde, which I didn't like, in the Justice League animated series. She was turned to stone by I forget the magician's name that's always causing her some problems. But so check those out. I love the artwork. I like the story. I like that they try to keep their little romance silence, and Wonder Woman being a woman, not that I'm saying anything's wrong with it, so don't get mad. Being a woman, she's having problems when he's Clark Kent, and she's not part of Clark Kent's life. But as Superman, she still has to be his girlfriend in secret, and they're still trying to figure out, are we really going to do this? Are we really going to do this? But they're doing it, so that's good. And then I also picked up it was a Justice League America, and it says 7.4, but it has over it Black Adam #1. I've always liked Captain Marvel, Shazam, so to speak. Remember the Power Hour, the Shazam ISIS Power Hour back in the day. But this is Black Adam. He was kind of like his arch enemy, supposedly. So it was a good story. You know, he's kind of the anti-hero, but Black Adam #1 is Justice League America 7.4, and it was only $2.99. The only book that I paid a lot of money for was the Superman Wonder Woman $4.99. So I don't know why they went up $1 from #1, which was $3.99. Maybe that was an introductory price, but who knows? But that's what I grabbed this week. But also, my big grab was nothing spectacular. Well, to me, it was spectacular because I've never seen one before. Because, like I said, I just recently getting back into comic books kind of heavily again, and that's why I'm a fanboy. I didn't explain that. A fanboy in collections. I've jumped on too many. I've jumped on too many trains, and I need to pick one and stick with it. Well, I'll get to that in a second. The other comic book grab I got, which the other day, my niece and I, we went out shopping and had dinner and did all that stuff. And we went to Barnes & Noble. It's one of our favorite stops. We'll stop and grab coffee and look around at different stuff. And I seen this Spider-Man book, and that's what it is. It's a book. It's called the Spider-Man Vault. And they do have vaults on, I think, the Avengers, on the Justice League, and I think X-Men or Marvel. Anyhow, as part of that series, and I look for those, and they're very expensive right now, but I seen the Spider-Man one at Barnes & Noble, and so I just kind of glanced at it. I'm like, I'm sure that's a lot of money, and I'm not about to spend a lot of money on that because I don't need it. I put myself on punishment for a lot of this stuff, but when we seen it upstairs, it wasn't priced, but I'm in my mind, I'm like, something like this has to be a lot of money. And then I go downstairs and I see it in the clearance section for $10. So you can go to your local Barnes & Noble. If there was 5, I'd buy them and sell them. But your local Barnes & Noble, and look for the Spider-Man Vault. It's a nice book. It's done by Peter A. David and Robert Greenberger, and it's called A Museum in a Book with Rare Collectibles Spun from Marvel's Web. And it opens up almost like a reamed notebook, so it gives you all this back history of Spider-Man, how his webs first start working, the costumes they use. So it's really a museum in a book. What I found interesting and what I love about this, and I'm going to do a YouTube video hopefully sometime this week. Ken Boggle and I are still going to do some hangouts together, but this is not going to be live because I want it to be just right. I bought lighting and everything. Too much. Anyhow, and so what I found interesting about this, and there's YouTube videos about this, but I want to do my own. They have little plastic pockets, within the pages, where they have reproductions, of course, of Amazing Fantasy #15, the original artwork. They have character drawings. That's one of them. Then they have a sticker that I'm not going to put on my car, but it's an old bumper sticker from 1966 that says, "This car protected by your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man." And then it has the 1966 trading cards, and these all are reproductions. Then it gives you a little bit more backstory. Then it has a poster in here from 1977. This is probably during the time that the live action show was about. And then it just tells you different things about Spider-Man in the Marvel universe. Then they have the mask. The mask, the children can sort of become Spider-Man by dyeing this mask held on with elastic string. Sans the elastic string. Then they have the 1978 Marvel stationery, which they only give you one piece, but I want to make copies of it because who doesn't want Marvel stationery with Spider-Man, and let me tell you who's all on the stationery. Spider-Man is across the top, and this is from 1978, mind you. And then they have Doctor Strange, The Thing, Luke Cage, Scarlet Witch, The Vision, Thor, Captain America, the Hulk, Storm, Cyclops, Johnny Storm, Nick Fury, the white one, and Sue Storm, and I think that is Ghost Rider in this as well. So this is on the stationery, so I'm going to make copies of this because I want, not the who, but who writes letters anymore, right? Maybe I'll use it as my background for my emails or something, but I'm going to copy that so I can have Marvel stationery for 1978. And it also has another poster, and this poster is from 1989. And this heralded the arrival of Todd McFarlane, the Todd McFarlane driven Spider-Man title, featuring such revisionist art details and as enlarged eyes and spaghetti webbing. Then they have more. They have three reproductions of original sketch art by Klaus Janson, original sketch by Jim Lee and Andrew Wildman. I mean, all this stuff is stuck in this book. I mean, all this stuff is stuck in here. Then they have more. What is this? Original ink pages from Spectacular Spider-Man number 48. And then I remember seeing this book as well, maybe not. I've seen it somewhere with the Vulture. That his name? Yeah, Victims of the Vulture. It was the original color chart for Spider-Man magazine number 1. And to give me a date, it doesn't give me a date. And then you have, I mean, seriously, I mean, all this stuff is in this book for $10. A fanboy cannot pass this up. Then they give you the first one of the first pieces of promotional material for the new the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man from May 3rd, 2002, and it was a fake press card that you could put your name on, your face on, and it says press on the front, and then also the storyboard from the script as well, and that's all stuck in this book. And of course you have Stan Lee on the very last page. And also I wish I had this book too. If I went to President Obama's inauguration, the first one in 2008, and this is that. It just gives you a lot of stuff. This is a special inauguration day edition of Spider-Man. So it's called The Vault. Spider-Man Vault, a museum in a book with rare collectibles spun from Marvel's web. This is absolutely amazing. This is something I'm going to cherish. If I can get these at a cheaper price, say if I get these for $5, and it's something I'm going to talk about later, I would sell these for like 10. I would, because I think it's something that every comic book, the mainstream comic book person that likes Marvel or likes Spider-Man, if you don't have them, run to Barnes and Noble. It's $10 right now. It may be cheaper. I guess if you have a Barnes and Noble membership, it's going to be $8.99. Check it out. I love it. All right. Ken Boggle says he bought The Demonologist by Ed and Lorraine Warren. Oh, I know. She's the one that she was one of the original investigators of the real Amityville Horror House. I seen a story with her in it. She's always looked the same, always. Yeah, Ken, you should go to Barnes and Noble. It's only $10. Yeah, Amityville. Yeah, it's only $10. You should do that. He says he loves Spider-Man. Let's see. So what else is going on? Let's talk contests. I've held off long enough. So, we'll talk about my collection problem, because I have a collection problem. The same day that I bought the Spider-Man Vault, I had also, this was Thursday, I had also went to Hot Topic. Now, mind you, I'm in the age range that I'm not a a good can not a candidate. I'm not a customer that they're trying to get in their store. But my niece is, so we went in there and they play that loud rock music, and not it doesn't suit my taste or anything, but it is what it is. And so my we're in there looking around. They of course we see Doctor Who, so my niece completely flips out, and so we're looking at Doctor Who stuff, and we're just kind of looking around. This really charming salesperson that was really. I haven't played. I guess I haven't uploaded the Drive episode where I talked about it. He was flirting with me. He was flirting with me, and I, for one, if you're working a Hot Topic, you're way too young for me. But he was very, very nice. Had a little kind of nerdy, geeky thing going on that I actually like. That's why I need a Latino boyfriend that's geeky and nerdy, that just thinks I'm fabulous, and that'd be perfect. My life. So anybody that's Latino, single, gay, nerd, geek. And nice with good teeth, tweet me. But so we're there, and he was just chit chatting with us, telling about different stuff in the store, and so we're looking around for quite a bit. Ken says, "Shut it! Ain't no one too old for a little Hot Topic, hottie." Boy, I'm too old and too fat. They don't got nothing in my size. And so so we were looking around the store, and they have all this. I didn't know they had all this fanboy stuff in there. They have Doctor Who. They have, of course, the Game of Thrones. They have the little pop bobbleheads, and they have everything in there. Of course, they have the other stuff with like the belly button rings and the ear spacers and all that kind of nonsense. But it's not nonsense if you wear it. I'm just kidding. It's just not for me. And so, but they also have the little tchotchke stuff. I don't know if they had shot glass. I was in Spencer's, but they have like purses, and they have hats, and they have a lot of T-shirts. We have a comic convention coming up here in a month, and I need to buy my tickets because they're like $50 for VIP. I had to have VIP, right? And boy, let me tell y'all, if I go to this comic convention and I spend $50 for a ticket to get VIP and it's whack, I will be talking about them on my show. Trust and believe, I will be talking about them. But I'm on, it's the premiere one for this area. So if you're in Southern Indiana, Evansville specifically, and you want to spend the day, it's on April the 4th and 5th, Friday and Saturday. It's called PopCon. It's going to be in the National Guard Armory. Tickets are $15 at the door, $10 in advance, and then you can contact them on their Facebook page for the VIP tickets. And I was in Comic Quest yesterday, and I didn't ask, but anyhow, so we're in. My niece bought a really cool DC headband. And I'm like, oh, that's really, really hot. And so I go to the clearance bin, and I see all this stuff kind of sticking out of there. And I'm not going to tell you how much you paid for it, because that is what our contest is about. It's not about how much is paid for. It's about that you're getting something free and you don't have to pay for it yourself. It's originally priced at $8.50, so that has to mean something. So if you looked at the Facebook page and you've seen the artwork, or on Twitter, I have 2 keychains. One of Kick-Ass Mask and one of Hit Girl. If you need to comment on Spreaker on this show, you can say anything. I like the show, hate the show. Well, if you say hate the show, I'm not going to choose you, but it's going to be random. But I just might kick that one out. I'm just saying. It's my show. It's my contest. But if you are listening or whatever, or go to the Facebook page and comment on where I put, or on any of the promotions or the posts about this particular show, comment on it and just say, I want the mask. Oh, type I want the mask. There we go. I want the mask, or tweet it, I want the mask. I'll randomly draw 2 names. The first name will be for the Kick-Ass. The second name will be for the Hit Girl. It's a keychain, and they're really, really cool. I got one for myself. I think they're cool. and it's free. So all you have to do is, this is midway when we're a little bit probably more three-fourths before the show's over, but go to the Facebook page, facebook.com/the 5x5, completely spelled out. There's different posts about tonight's show, or tweet me or reply to my tweet that I posted about the show, or go to the blog once it finally makes it. Once it finally makes it to my blog, I'm a little behind. And comment, I want the mask. Two of you will win either the Hit Girl mask or the Kick-Ass mask keychain. So we're gonna do that. Let's say we'll do that till today is. You know what? I'm gonna give you guys 2 weeks. So from today and 2 weeks on Fanboy Weekly, I will announce the winner, the winners of the Kick-Ass mask or the Hit Girl mask. That's our contest. Don't forget. Anyhow, another thing that I seen there that was a really great price. Have you guys heard of these heroclix things? Heroclix by, I believe it's oops, I just knocked over a whole bunch of stuff. I believe it's by, let me get it right so nobody has to me. You can go to heroclix.com, but it's made by WizKids Toy something. But for some, I think Topps owns that line now, or one of the. Anyhow, I got 3, and I should have bought them all because I've been seeing those things. I want to know what they are. I was at the comic book store the other day, and I see people playing with them. I'm like, that's kind of interesting. And then I looked online, and they're kind of collectible because the artwork and the molding is all kind of. Is very, very good. And I'm like, well, I don't really collect figurines. That's really never been my thing. Every once in a while I'll get something that I think is interesting, and I'm like, oh, but there's sometimes they're just so expensive. I'm like, yeah, I'm not buying that. And so they had the Man of Steel heroclix. I don't know if it was exclusive to Hot Topic. I know I see something for Target, but here's the thing: they were buy one get one 50% off. And they were only 98 cents. So I got them for 74 cents each. So that means that, well, that don't mean anything. 3 of them. So I got a Zor-El, I think it's a Rebel, a Kryptonian Warrior, and a Kryptonian Rebel. I didn't see now my little crazy collection impulses are kicking in. I'm like, ooh, they're really neat. And now I want the collectible ones. Like there's one for Superman, there's a Lois Lane one. I'm like, I need those, which I really don't, but I want them. And then when I was at the comic book store the other day, I'm like, well, let me ask some questions and see. Here I go. I've been talking to Ken a little bit about a passion. Well, not you guys know I wouldn't be doing this if I didn't have a passion for comic books and all things geeky. But I'm like, why not turn my passion into a reality and do something I love doing? Not that I don't love taking care of people, and the whole nursing thing is still on. Is still doing that, but I'm like, I've never been one that really wanted to work for anyone. I've never wanted to work for anyone because people normally get on my nerves. But I'm like, why don't I open a comic book store? Because the ones here, although there's one that has a pretty big following here, then the other one I never see anybody at. But when I go in each of these stores, not that I'm a serious hardcore collector, I don't have a subscription service there, but they don't give me nothing that I'm like, ooh, I want to go back in there. Even being a casual comic book or a fanboy collector or person who's into those things, and so I'm like, why don't I just open a store myself? And then everything that I've learned in my retail management experience and just working in sales period, I'm like, and then what I think I would want, but then I'm reading things like, don't put what you would want in a store, put what the people want. But that's on merchandise. Comic book guru. More like the Dalai Lama, but who's saying? Ken Bogle called me the comic book guru. So I'm like, I should just do it. But everything costs money. And so I'm going to plan very wisely because from what I'm reading online, a comic book business is not the most lucrative business in the world. I wouldn't get to quit my day job, but I love doing it. So I would totally do it. And it's here's the thing. The funny thing is, you know how God, or if you believe in God, or just or say the universe or the cosmos have a way of giving you signs. And we've talked about this before on a late night show. The person I was thinking of, I'm like, I was, because he used to be the manager at the comic book store that I frequent the most. I'm like, I would so get him because he's working at another store now. I said I would go ask him to work with me. You know, if I raised the money and able to get the store and do all that stuff, I would ask because I know he's very knowledgeable because he does like the gaming stuff. And so I said, to myself, I would go get that person. He happens to be friends with my sister. He knows my sister very well. He actually gave my niece one of the original full sets of Pokemon cards that she's had ever since she was 5 years old, and she's 22. They need to let me sell those Pokemon cards so I can start my comic book store, right? They should. I'm the good uncle. But anyhow, that being said, that person has been in my mind. I've been thinking about this. I walk into the store, and the first person I see was him. And I'm like, I haven't seen you since I've been back in the area. You know, I know you've been around. I've seen your sister, and I know his family. You know, he's a nice guy. And so I walked up. I said, "What are you doing in here?" Because the last time I spoke to him while I was still living in Atlanta and I was here shopping, and I seen him in the mall, and he told me some stuff that had went down between him and the owner, because him and his sister both worked there, of the comic book store. And so I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. Anyhow, and so I said, what are you doing in here? And so we kind of chit-chatted a bit, and he's still really a nice guy. So I'm like, I'm so grabbing him because he can be valuable. But you got to pay people the right amount of money because you just have to. Ken says, see, you already got a partner, but I don't think he got any money either. But like I said, this is going to be it would definitely be a labor of love. Because, you know, what else I'm going to do? You know, I can nurse and take care of people, you know, but not that I don't have a passion for it, because I love what I do currently. But it never struck me until I walked into the other comic book store the other day, and I was like, God, you guys are a bunch of sourpusses. Y'all do not make. Only reason I come here because you guys are the only game in town. If you want to buy comics and you want to see the comics, one is definitely better than the other, but the one's been here a little bit longer, and they've both been here 20 at least when I'm in my 40s, and I started collecting heavily when I was in college. That would have been the early 90s. So what? That's 92. They've at least both been here 14 years. So that's a long time, because when I read on the research I've done online and seeing different things about comic book stores, you know, not that you need a lot of investment capital, but you have to work it. You have to include a lot of things, and another thing that I did notice from what I read online, that the same statues I seen 5 years ago, some of these stores still have, like little figurines. People don't buy that stuff, although I would have that stuff. So when I get closer to making a decision what I'm going to do, this is what I think I'm going to do first, just to raise a little money, a little capital. I'm going to start selling comic book stuff online. I'm going to open an online store. So all you listeners of Fanboy Weekly, which this is probably going to change here soon to coincide with, and I'll blog and I'll tell I'll blog, and of course you'll hear about it here, about my progress. I'm going to do the online store first, just to see, you know, the ins and outs. I think one thing you have to have, you have to have a passion for something, and this definitely is my passion, something I love, you know. But I think you have to have a good business mind as well. I probably need to take a bookkeeping class, but no, this is something I want to do. and I think in its infancy, just to get used to ordering and get a clientele online more regionally, and then start doing some things. And I have some great ideas, but you have to have money to make these ideas come to fruition. I don't want to take out a big crazy loan and then end up being upside down in this market, because there's three stores. There's already three stores here, and then a fourth one not too far from here in a different city. But I think if you have the best product, they will come. And a comic book store is more of a destination type thing. It's not like if you're walking down the mall. I would never have a comic book store in the mall because it just wouldn't work. And Ken said he does like my online idea first. That's what I'm gonna do first. I'm just gonna do some things that I think are gonna sell well. Like right now, I have one. If I can get this up and going in the next couple of weeks, I'll be able to put this one particular book out there that I know is gonna fly off the shelves, and then offer it online. And maybe do some eBay things and some other things. So it's all in its infancy, in the kind of the creative stage right now. But I've been taking a lot of notes. I've been reading a lot of stuff. Hopefully, if I think everybody has a dream, and this just might be, because this is the only thing that's really appealed to me in the last 15 years of the ideas or career choices that I made. I'm like, why don't that just makes sense? That just kind of lines up to who I am. But I have a Buffy part and a WWE part. And did you know, guys, that CM Punk, although he did walk out on the WWE, he's slated to be back was tomorrow on Monday Night Raw. So don't forget to check out Monday Night Raw on, I think it's Sci-Fi, to see if CM Punk does return to the WWE. Let's see. Yeah, I thought so too, Ken. So keep your fingers crossed, and maybe this crazy dream of mine will manifest itself, and who knows? And I've also been seeing a number that's relative to comic books, and it's a personal number in my life that I've been seeing it in just about. I've seen it like 4 or 5 times in the last 2 weeks, where I'm like, that's really, really odd for that to be there. One more break. We're going to come back and we're going to wrap up tonight's show. Thank you guys for listening. It's the 5x5 Fanboy Weekly. I'm David, and we'll be right back. And we're back. That was Beat Fix by Michael McAdam here on the 5x5 Fanboy Weekly Show. Thank you guys for tuning in. Just a few more things and we're going to wrap up because I need to get to bed so I can get up early and dig out of ice again. Yay me, right? Thank you guys for tuning in. Have you guys heard that the Heroes, remember Heroes, the NBC Heroes show that was really doing good until the second part? Well, no, the second season, it then it just went downhill. They ended up having 4 seasons that wasn't it wasn't all that good. It was horrible actually. But it started out really good. You know, Save the Cheerleader, Save the World, and everybody kind of got all amped up, and then they start adding these characters, and everybody started trying meeting up to the same thing. Ali Lauder was in it. Who else was in that? That guy he was on this show, Vince Miglia, called Chosen on Crackle. Then they start killing people that didn't need to die, but it was good. It was a good series when it started, and then it got canceled because it got horrible. But here it is that superheroes are in right now. That's why I think it's a good idea to open a comic book store, because with Marvel doing all these movies, DC doing all of these movies, comic books have reached a new audience, and they've reached the audience that's my age, or brought the people that's my age, has reignited our interest in comic books, just like me. And I don't think the movies really did. I've always had an interest, but it is kind of like, oh wow, I enjoy that. And then younger people, it's reached a new audience, and they have these games and they're collectible and it's fun, and you know, it's okay to be a nerd, and it's okay to be geeky, and it's okay to like comic books. It's okay to be a 40-year-old man that loves to collect comic books, because some of these comic books aren't for kids. They just aren't. But Heroes. So I think this is why they're revamping, because Marvel's Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. is doing so well. Arrow is doing so well. Heroes, NBC is like, we need to throw our hat back in because we're getting beat on some of our best shows by these comic book deals. And so, let's see. They're coming back. The news seems to echo Fox rebooting its action franchise from 24, also, and in a limited series launch this May, and also. And you know what? I wish that the Bionic Woman could have worked out. It needed a couple more episodes, but they got rid of that faster than they got rid of Dollhouse. One of Joss Whedon's, not one of his best moments, but it had Eliza Dushku in it, who I absolutely love. Remember, she was Faith the Vampire Slayer. Here we go. Reviving Heroes, which was canceled 4 years ago, might be met with some mixed feelings by the show's fans. However, the show got off to a strong start, like I said, in both ratings and acclaim. Then was widely considered to have creatively collapsed into a confused muddle, exactly what happened, and became a serialized TV cautionary tale. But with broadcast TV drama ratings on the decline, networks are increasingly turning to event series to grab attention, and brands that were canceled years ago are now seen like the potential hits, even if they only deliver a large percentage of their previous audience. And Heroes actually did well on DVD, they're saying, and it's the whole series on Netflix. So if you haven't seen Heroes, check it out. Just the first 2 seasons and not the rest. They say Heroes might be coming back into the field with plenty of competition, because you know there's a Batman movie television show called Gotham coming out, and then there's a Lex Luthor show that's coming out supposedly. But they're going to do a 13-episode event series, just one story arc. It's not going to be out till next year, but it's not even a year away yet. So that's only like 9 months. In 2015, the original creator is going to be involved, and it's going to be called Heroes Reborn. And it's a standalone story, and the characters have not yet been announced. So I don't know if they're going to bring in, Hayden Panettiere. She's on Nashville that's doing extremely well. They might want to get that. I think it's Milo Ventimiglia. They might get him back because that show's on Crackle. Who watches Crackle? Seriously. It's okay. I ain't gonna say that because they do have X-Men, the anime version on there, and it's okay. But so watch for Heroes. The other big news comes from Marvel once again. And they're going the House of Cards route. All the original series, the Orange is the New Black, all the original series that are popping up on Hulu, popping up on Crackle, popping up on Netflix. They're going that route, and they're going to bring it. When I tell you they're going to bring it, they're going to bring it. They're going to bring original, exclusive superhero shows: Luke Cage, Iron Fist, Jessica Jones. If you don't know who Jessica Jones is, she's Spider-Woman, and Daredevil. They're going to be a multi-series endeavor, reportedly going to be the biggest in New York's history. So it's all going to be filmed in New York because I think all these characters are based in New York. They say even bigger than the Avengers. The studio has announced that the shows will consist of 60. So that's 10 episodes each. Consists of 60 one-hour episodes with a production budget of a staggering $200 million. My thing is they just need to make another Avengers movie and they're Gucci, right? They said, which is almost enough to give Iron Man, Black Widow, Captain America, and the rest of the gang a run for their money. They're going to start filming this summer, and they're going to bring 400 jobs to the state of New York. I'm all about job creation, so go Marvel and Netflix, do your thing, creating jobs. They said New York is where the entertainment industry started, and this unprecedented commitment from Disney and Marvel is further evidence that we're bringing it back to bigger and better than before. So they're going to do it. They're making these shows. It's already signed, sealed, not quite delivered. But I don't know if they've picked the characters or if the stories have been written or they're in the creatives. But they're gonna start filming. They have something. DC. I'm gonna need y'all to go to Marvel School of making these shows and movies, because there's no reason why we don't have a Wonder Woman movie or show out when they're bringing all these. And I'm not gonna call them B-list characters, but they're not, A-list characters by any means. But they're getting their own vehicle. Y'all need to talk to Netflix because they're doing it way big and they're killing you on this live action game, killing you. Well, I think I have chit-chatted long enough. I thought there was one more thing I had to talk about, but it escapes me right now. Don't forget to comment on the show if you want to be entered in to win two of you guys will win one of the two Kick-Ass or Hit Girl keychain mask. Just comment on the Facebook page, any of the posts that I made about the show. I want the mask, or just any comment. I'm not going to be really particular, and I will do those names by random and pick two, or send me a tweet or comment on the blog. If and when it shows up there, it'll be there eventually. But 2 weeks from today, so not next Sunday, but the Sunday following, I will announce a winner. But here's the thing: if I do get my video done this week, I'm going to offer the same contest to the people who check out the YouTube video. So you need to be looking, listening, and watching. Oh, and then hopefully, I did one more thing. I did have something else to say. I did order. I did get my copy. I haven't got them yet. They're in the mail. They're in transit. Of Veronica 202 and number 205. I did get that. I didn't want to pay the money for the Lois Lane. I said I was going to have it. I just couldn't do it. Then I spend $20 on silly stuff. You figure that one out. It was because the guy wouldn't come down the price. That's why. I still might get it eventually, but I'm being stubborn right now. But I got a poster of the cover art from that Lois Lane number 106, which you'll also be able to see in the YouTube video. And then also the Veronica 202 and 205 featuring Archie Comics' first gay character. Thank you guys for listening. It's been fun, like always. Um, Thank you guys for joining me, and I guess I'll see you next time. You guys have a great night and have a great week.
It's time for
It's Fanboy Weekly for all you geeks, nerds, and blurs. Let's get our geek on.